I'm guessing you're watching this video right now because you are wondering whether Aura or IdentityForce is going to be the best identity theft protection service for you, a spouse, or children. My goal for this video is to do a comparison between the two services, both of which are pretty good, but one of which is that much better than the other one. And I'll tell you right now, that's Aura. When we consider all the major elements of a good identity theft protection service, from dark web alerts to credit monitoring and to pricing, Aura is definitely going to be the best fit for most people, but IdentityForce is still worthy of consideration. So in this video, we're going to compare the two. Let's jump into it. From a design perspective, Aura definitely looks better than IdentityForce, which indeed does look a little bit dated these days, but we're not here to talk about design and UX. We're here to talk about the meat and potatoes of what actually make up these products. And so we're going to start with credit monitoring. Now, both of these services do a very good job of monitoring your credit. Both Aura and IdentityForce are going to use VantageScore, not FICO. In fact, virtually every identity theft protection service on the market is going to give you your VantageScore. If you want your FICO score, what you need to do is go to this website right here, freecreditreport.com, and you can get a free copy of your FICO score. From a credit reporting perspective, you can't go wrong with Aura or IdentityForce. They both offer robust credit reporting that's going to tell you everything you need to know, from your 2-year payment history to all of your open accounts, to all of your closed historical accounts, any past addresses that you've been associated with, any current addresses, etc. All information that you would really need to know in regards to your credit, you can get with each of these products. The big difference here, simply the price. With Aura, you are going to get 3 bureau credit reporting in any one of their plans, any one of their 3 plans, I should say. Whereas with IdentityForce, you actually need to go for their ultra secure plus credit, and that's going to run you a minimum of $23.95 a month at the time that I'm recording this video. So it's just a lot more expensive with IdentityForce to get the same information that you could get with Aura. Speaking of price, do check out the links in the video description below. I'm going to keep those updated with any discounts that we have. Right now with Aura, I think we have 50% off. With IdentityForce, we have either a 14 or a 30-day free trial. I'm not sure which, but go ahead, click those links. You'll see what we have on offer. And again, we keep those continually updated to bring the best offers to you. Let's move from credit monitoring into this scary place called the dark web and talk about dark web monitoring, because indeed, a lot of you watching this who are considering identity theft protection services for you, for your family, you want them because of what they can do to monitor the dark web. Without going into too much detail, basically the dark web is a place where some of your personal information, passwords, social security numbers, things like that, can occasionally surface for sale. If you've ever used LinkedIn, if you've ever used Canva, if you've ever had an account with Adobe software, there's a decent chance that your personal password information has been leaked somewhere on the dark web. And basically the software that Aura offers, the software that IdentityForce offers, is going to scan the dark web for breaches of your personal information and notify you when your personal information has been encountered. At Home Security Heroes, we like to make comparisons that are as apples to apples as possible. So what I always do, I always input the same set of email addresses into every software we review, and then I tally up the total number of alerts as well as the total number of unique alerts. And here's what I found with Aura and IdentityForce. As you can see on the screen here, this is a comparison of all of the identity theft protection softwares we've tested. Aura comes out on top, having found 35 total alerts, 15 of which were unique, and IdentityForce is in the middle of the pack, having found 19 total alerts, 7 of which were unique. Now, this is far from a scientific study, but I will say, based on my experience as well as colleagues of mine at Home Security Heroes, we have found that Aura consistently does the best job of scanning the dark web for your personal information. And if you want to claim any discounts for them, go ahead, check that video description below, and we're going to be sure to have them. If I were looking to monitor the dark web for my personal information, I would use Aura. And if I wanted to opt out of data broker websites, I would also use Aura. And that's because Aura offers automated data broker opt-outs. So you see on the screen here, when you sign up with Aura, you are basically going to initiate this automated opt-out process where they email companies on your behalf requesting the removal of your personal information. There are a lot of websites out there that will publish things like your parents' names, names of your children, home addresses, etc. And if you want to scrub the internet of that information, Aura is a really good way to do that. Another option that I recommend here at Home Security Heroes is Delete Me. And again, we are going to have links to that in the video description below. But basically, when it comes to cleaning the web of your personal information, you really have 2 options. You can do it manually, which would consist of emailing each of these companies and having an email correspondence with them, maybe going back and forth a few times. Nobody's got time for that. I would not recommend taking that option. The second option is to use a service like Aura and/or Delete Me, and use those perhaps in combination to really go nuclear and make sure that the internet is scrubbed of your personal information about you, your parents, your children, to the best of these software's abilities. And that's about all we can do. There are always going to be new third-party websites popping up, trafficking in our personal information, and it's nice to have a watchdog, so to speak, like Aura looking out on our behalf. If the data broker section felt very Aura heavy, well, it's because IdentityForce doesn't actually offer this as a service. There are no data broker opt-outs with IdentityForce, so chalk this up as a point for Aura. When it comes to insurance and identity theft protection, the key question to ask is, what is my total coverage going to be capped at? In the case of IdentityForce, regardless of which of their 3 plans you decide to sign up for, you are going to cap out at $1 million total. Contrast that with Aura, where you are going to have $1 million ceiling only for the individual plan. For a couples plan, it is a $2 million cap, and for family plans, the ceiling is as high as $5 million $1 million for each adult on the plan up to 5. So for total breadth of insurance coverage, again, I would go with Aura over IdentityForce. Links to more information about insurance and discounts available in the video description below. At this point in the video, it should be clear that I prefer the Aura product overall, but one area where I will say that these companies are essentially neck and neck is when it comes to threat resolution. I, as well as several colleagues of mine at Home Security Heroes, have repeatedly called both Aura and IdentityForce to test their threat resolution specialists. What we have is essentially the same set of questions that we like to ask everybody who answers the phone, and we're really looking for a few things. One, we're looking for how quickly do they answer the phone. Two, we're looking to confirm that they are US based. Three, we're looking to confirm that they are available every day, 24 hours a day, every day out of the year. Four, we are assessing overall demeanor. How friendly are the threat resolution specialists we're speaking with? How competent are they? And how would they make us feel if we were in a situation where maybe our identity had been breached or we suspected it had been, we were the victim of a phishing attempt, etc. Would the person on the other line of the phone who needs to be US based, would they be able to help us resolve this issue in a timely fashion and help us restore our identity, our confidence, our sense of well-being? And in the case of both Aura and IdentityForce, the people I've spoken with have been absolute professionals, and you'll see that attested to in this next section here, where we move to third-party ratings as assessed by Trustpilot. Basically, what Trustpilot does is it aggregates consumer sentiment towards each of these products, and it really provides us an easy way to compare how people feel about Aura versus how they feel about IdentityForce. And as you see on the screen here, this is how each of these softwares stack up against one another when it comes to Trustpilot ratings. So we do have Aura at the very top, leading the way when it comes to consumer sentiment. To this point in the video, we focused on the things that we think really matter when it comes to identity theft prevention. We've talked about credit monitoring, we've talked about consumer sentiment, we've talked about dark web alerts, and we've talked about data brokers and automated data broker opt-outs. If you're considering one of these products because you want one of the smaller add-ons that they have, say a password manager, VPN, antivirus, you just need to know that Aura offers all of this and IdentityForce doesn't. So if you want that all-in-one comprehensive identity theft plus cybersecurity protection package, then Aura is really going to be the best bet for you. Closing out the review with pricing, this is where Aura presents itself as being really a no-brainer. If these two products were priced similarly, I'd have much more difficulty saying that Aura is far and away the winner between the two. I think IdentityForce is a good product. I really like its credit monitoring capabilities. Its threat resolution specialists have been nothing but great to me. But there's a huge disparity here when it comes to pricing. As you can see on the screen here, and keep in mind, this is before any discounts are applied. With Aura, you can get their individual package starting at $12 a month. And again, that's going to include 3-bureau credit reporting. If you want 3-bureau credit monitoring with IdentityForce, you are going to have to go with their most expensive Ultra Secure Plus credit package. And that comes out at $23.95 a month. So basically double Aura, and again, that's without any discounts applied. For that reason, I go with Aura. Again, I do think IdentityForce has a good product here. It's actually one of my favorite identity theft protection services on the market, but it's hard to justify that price when Aura is essentially offering all of what IdentityForce offers and more. Remember the VPN, the antivirus, the parental control software, which is in the case of Aura Circle, it's offering all of that alongside its credit monitoring capabilities, dark web alerts, etc., at half the price of IdentityForce. So for that reason, if you came here wondering, should I go with Aura or IdentityForce, go with Aura. That's going to be the right answer, and links are available in the video description below. So click those if you want to apply a discount, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Brandon, Home Security Heroes. Thank you.